Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Good Servant Show where we worship the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank God for God. All right. Alrighty. What do we have going on today? Let's see who's in there. Well, there's two liquors so far. Please type in the chat box to let me know if you can hear me. It's another beautiful morning in God's world. I woke up so tired today. I actually I forget what time it was, but I actually got some sleep last night. For the first time in a long time, I slept during the night. And I think it was a couple hours or something like that. But my son woke me up at 6:30, and I was like, "What? Who? What's going on?" I was so confused. Poor guy. Poor kid, but uh, he's a trooper. And so I I wasn't bad. I was just weird. And hey, Michigander, how are you doing, buddy? And good to see you, man. And so it's great having him here because I don't have that fear of, not really even a fear, but like yeah, kind of a fear, I guess. The fear of, like, you know, falling asleep and missing the show. I don't have that anymore because I know that eventually I'll wake up for something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just getting me back on track a little bit. Really putting me on a good little tiny schedule. Which, routines save life. And everything that I do it seems like everything I do in a routine kind of way is has been helpful to me. My prayers, well, the order of even how I start my morning, right? Just talking to God first. First person I talk to is God in the morning. And that has been a huge as far as just feeling better, right? Feeling better, more connected to Him, because that's what I'm here for. That's my, and so talking to somebody yesterday, I won't say it's a good conversation, right? And I worry about people. We're all struggling, and when you realize that not everything is, not everything is wide open, and things happen, and right, trying to be who you are for God's purpose, for Him to be pleased, right? I don't have to have that happen. Just have to do the next, and it feels good, right? It feels good to do that. Hey, Michael. Hey, Luke. Yep. Oh, is it too glitchy? Okay. Hold on. Hello. Uh-oh. I wanted to avoid saying that. I'll sh- I'll good morning. So is that a lot better right there? I know I sounded, what is it? Yeah, it's horrible, right? It's horrible. But I was talking about routines, right? And I wonder where I left off. Like, what was the last thing that you guys saw or heard from me? What was the last thing you guys could understand from me? And good morning, Alex. How you doing? Good morning, Hannah. Nice to see you. I was talking about routines, right? Waking up in the morning and the first person like or I'm waiting for do. Not working. Oh, okay. Good morning, good morning. Okay, is that any better? Please let me know if this is any better. Alrighty, let me see who else is here. Jeff Bread, what's up? And who else snuck in here? I said hi to Michael already. Luke, Alex. All right, Hannah's here, and Michigander's here. So is that any better, guys? It is good. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. Okay, all right, all right. So far, it is working. Okay, woo woo. All right. So, yeah, I was talking about routines, right? And that there are some routines in my life, right, that have been like super helpful, and because the reason I started talking about that is because my son woke me up for my show. I slept a couple hours, and that's rare for me to sleep a couple hours, but it's not rare for me to sleep through a show. And so, so just knowing that I'm not going to oversleep feels good, right? And I was thinking about getting back into a routine, and um, God is so good, right? Because um, you know, it's like this. The some routines really, really help me, right? Like I wake up and then the first person I talk to is God, and then start off that trying to find purpose, right? And I was talking to someone yesterday that was having some trouble um, finding purpose, right? Wanting to know, what are we here for individually, right? And you know, it's not as wide open as we thought it was, where anything can happen, and you try to achieve as much as you can, and thinking that you're being measured by some kind of test, but the reality is that I'm an authentic character in God's story for His pleasure, and that's all I need to be. And sometimes I will have to achieve something. I don't know, and sometimes I won't. But my measuring stick is no longer. I don't have to measure myself, and the measuring stick has changed. Right? God measures if I pleased Him or not. And I think that living in the Spirit, right? Because I know that if if I'm acting not in love, right, where I'm commanded to love God and other people, right? And so when I'm not acting in love, I get that feeling of conviction. And so I know that, okay, well, here's that ruler, right? Now, you know, I used to dread that, right? The feeling of conviction. But I remember Jake said something a couple months ago about, no, I love being convicted. Get that out of my heart, whatever's in there. And so I get that, right? Being excited about it too, right? There's different ways to look at different things. Hey Faith, hey Bubba, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, absolutely. To thank God for another day. That's right. Another day to interact with others. About the King coming soon. Yes, the King of all kings. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, I was thinking about that, right? Because I was talking to Deb. I talked to both Debs yesterday, but sometimes it's hard to keep up. Okay, so I was talking to Deb about okay, what was I talking about? My head just slipped right there. Oh yeah, yeah, about planting seeds and thinking about like you if you when you get to the other side, knowing like, okay, well, how many people did we help to get to God for salvation, right? We're gonna find that kind of stuff out. And to tell you the truth, like I just want people to make it. That's all I want. Like the idea of any kind of like reward or anything like that for just um, being a caring human being is kind of cringy to me. Like I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm not like really good at like accepting things, right? Um, I mean, I'm not going to be in denial about it. If I do something good, I'll accept that. But it's not like high priority. But my high priority is this, right? I just love sheep, and I just want to bring more people here, or more people to God, or maybe even just plant a small seed. And so I'm learning that because you know yesterday I was talking to my kid, and I'm thinking, there's so much that I could offer him, right? Like there's so much that I could be telling him about the world and how it is, and what we have to look forward to. But it doesn't just happen like that. It doesn't just happen like that. It's you know even getting your own family, the people you want, to make it the most, right? um it's hard to get them to trust you like other people trust you. And it's tough, right? Because I was thinking, right, I don't know much about anything really. I mean, I know a little bit about God, and I know a little bit about this world, the nature of it, right? And those are really the only two things that I would say is an asset to offer somebody, right? And I want to get to that point where I can do that, you know, that they trust me like you guys trust me, you know, or even like that, you know, that they think critically for themselves. And it's tough, man. It's tough, but God offers so much hope, so much help, so much I mean, he's just always there everywhere. And um I'm just going to keep keep loving people, and God will take care of everything, right? So what's up with you guys? Is anything new in the world or anything new that you guys are going through? I think, let me go all the way back here. I think Michael put a verse in here from Psalms. Psalms chapter 9 verse 9, the Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Absolutely, right? Like I'm starting to really appreciate that. Um, I'm starting to really appreciate that God is going to take care of everything, and I don't have to be in control of the outcome, even for my own life. I just need to do the next right thing in the spirit, and um, and God will handle everything, and He'll do that for everybody. And it's cool that we know that, right? I mean, I need to be reminded of it, you know, because it's easy for me to like see which way things are going and like, ooh, I don't want this or I want that. But in reality, I don't know what I want, you know, because some things work out and it's not great. Sometimes it's things don't work out and it's better. All right, Faith is saying she can't see Alex. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Can you guys see each other now? I've been working on it, right? I think even someone else got someone else even got blocked. So this is what I think is happening, guys. On that situation, I think what's happening is there's a rogue wrench out there. And I think they're okay, so if let's say I give Bubba a wrench right now, right? Well, somebody with a wrench can go back in the chats that are from the old videos and ban Bubba when he doesn't have the blue. And so when he comes in, right? He's a wrench, he's still here, he's not blocked, but he can't see anybody. And I think that's what's happening, right? Because then when I take the wrench off the person, they still can't see. And I think that happened to Rob too a couple days ago. And yeah, man, it's this technology, man. It's full of demons. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I don't need to be convinced that this technology is messed up. Oh, thank you, Faith. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's crazy. Well, yeah, even Michael got banned right one time. And I know that wouldn't happen in the chat live. I know that. So yeah, it's crazy, 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 crazy. Yeah, that's right, Rob. God is in full control. I have to keep remembering that, right? I think we all need to be like here's it's crazy, right? Like we do know it, right? It's just being reminded of it makes us feel better, right? To know that no matter what, God's going to use everything for His good, you know. And maybe like little scenarios like this where you know there's some someone got blocked or that person got blocked, where maybe that like creates a scenario that we get to know each other in a different or better way, who knows, right? Who even knows? Bubba says, how weird, I've never blocked anyone, I don't do that. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, 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 I was using you as an example, like Like there's some kind of weird way that like if somebody blocks you from an old thing. Yeah, I know it, man. So I don't know. I gotta really figure it out. Figure out if it's, I think there's 3 wrenches left out there now because I think Ann told me she got blocked, so I'm working on that too. Okay. So there's 3 wrenches out there right now that I know about, but there was a lot more. Anyway, so yeah, the Lord is my wrench. Yeah. I like that. I like that. And yeah, you know what? I like how you put the hello, right? You know, and I think Deb says like Halo, right? Like HALO, and I think that's a cool way to do it too. Get it together, Stephen. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's. I mean, it's you know, straighten up, buddy. But like, no, but you know, it's for real though, right? Like, I think we do have to. It's like because we're Christian people in a hostile world, we got to we do got to try harder and do better than the average person just to get through, right? And it seems like you know, as much as there's like not really any like face to face, head to head confrontation with the world, there's all these little games, right? Like trying to trick us into consenting to certain things, you know? And like that's the crazy part about the world, right? I can understand someone being upset and charging at you full blast, right? But all these little games, right? All these little like passive aggressive games that the world plays, you know, to try to get you to agree to something or click a box or you know terms and services. There was a I think it was in the Amazon app. There is a zombie clause or something. It's like 42 section 42A, right? I didn't believe it, right? But it's true, right? That there's a clause that says if people get reanimated, like die and become reanimated, I don't know, there was some kind of clause in there about that. But what's weird is that the two you know rules on either side of it were just regular rules. Like one was talking about lumber and the other one was talking about something else. And it's just yeah, it's mind games, man. It's like that movie I didn't see the movie, but I get the premise, right? You know, gaslighting or whatever. Like people are just trying to gaslight people, and you know, trying to work it in their normal day to get you and make it look like they're not getting you, but they are. It is intentional, you know. And so, Bubba says, Faith, log into YouTube Studio. It might be there. Oh yeah. YouTube Studio has has helped me a lot because when people ban like say somebody bans somebody that I don't know about, I can unban them. You know, you can see who's blocked, and so yeah. Let me drop the link, and if somebody wants to talk about any experiences being with these kind of passive aggressive games, you know, out there, any experience in that, and then like how how our relationship with Jesus can like how we can overcome these things, like not just obviously God wins in the end, right? But it's how do we feel better and more comfortable in you know during our lives, right? Michael says we are not ignorant as to what is happening. Yeah, we're not. I think a lot of it is intentional. Like someone will say something that looks like innocent or something like that, right? But it's really meant for you. And I think have you guys ever noticed that with um I don't know if you guys have noticed that too. Like where it's like someone says something that you're like, man, they know that's bothering me, but it doesn't look bad, or it looks like it's within the normal confines of like whatever conversation that people are in. It's odd. Michael says that's why so many people throw out Psalms as if it's not a real book. Why do people throw out Psalms? I've never heard of that. Is there like a movement now to like not have Psalms? Because I'll tell you what, I was in like a kind of like a program to kind of help like I wouldn't say wayward kids because I was in my mid 20s, right? But it was after my divorce, after I got out of the army. I was in this program where it was, a ministry, and one of my assignments was I had to write Psalm 119 out, like handwrite it, and it was a long, it was a long chapter. It was a long chapter, and but David during that chapter says so many wonderful things that yeah. So Hannah says no, that's just paranoia. Use the at tag of addressing someone. It's more, oh yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah. So I see your point, Hannah. You're right. I don't think it happens all the time. I think, I would say it's probably rare, but I could see that. But you're right. I think some of it is paranoia too. Sometimes people will read into things that's not really meant for them. Yeah, the at symbol. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you're right about that. It would be less confusing. Oh, Luke is here. Hold on, let me get him. Hello, Luke. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Off of work, so got to sleep in and just relax today, and it's always a good feeling. I slept like probably 10 to 10, damn near. So I needed it. That's for sure.
Wow. 10 hours or 12 hours?
Like like 10 to 12 hours. Yeah, probably closer to 12.
Wow. I wish. I wish, man. I'm happy, man. I'm happy you made it on here. That's
Yeah,
good,
yeah, it's
man.
grateful to be on. It's sometimes hard to link up at the same time, and yeah, finally on. And I just wanted to talk about how like when people play mind games, and sometimes that's something that like I even deal with because like I overthink it. A good example would be like it was a couple months ago. Me and my manager, we're all right now, but I think my manager was having a bad day, and I was kind of having a bad day, and he asked me to do some a couple times, and I couldn't like exactly hear him, and he was asking for like the Phillips screwdriver, and like I grabbed the flat, and like we've worked on these like jobs multiple times, like I know the difference, obviously, and then like there's number one, two, three Phillips. Like I know like what all those look like, and he knows I know that. So like he was kind of doing that to like get on my mind, but he like got in my face. He's like, "This is a Phillips. This is a flat." And like it kind of
Wow.
ruined my day. Yeah, it was not. It wasn't cool. I kind of let it ruin my day, and those kind of little things I try to like look past now, but it's just things like that where people kind of put that mind game on you. Like he knew that I like know the difference, but he intentionally did that just to bring me down.
And see, I wonder, once you know that, right? Like, okay, that's what this person's doing. Obviously, it's intentional. Like, it gives you like a way to like kind of rise above it because like, okay, well, it's obviously this dude's problem. I don't have to feel anything really because I was talking to Deb last night, and she said that when you don't care about this is a revelation, right? When you don't care about somebody and they leave, it doesn't hurt as much, right? And that's such a great point, right? Like if you didn't care about the comment coming in, the more you care about the person or the comment, the more it hurts. And so we have some kind of control over that, right? Like,
That's very true. And not only the more it hurts, the more the other person will start doing that. If you start reacting or getting upset easily, then you're almost more of a target.
yeah, I get that. I get that. I hope that guy knows that he reaps what he sows, right? Well, I say that, right, because you know how like people talk about karma all the time, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, that's bad karma, man," and then I don't know. It seems like out of nowhere I'll see a Christian say, "Oh yeah, karma's garbage. I don't believe in karma," but I think they got it from God, because you reap what you sow. Kind of sounds like, hey, don't be planting them seeds over here, man, because you're gonna get it back. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
It's a
obviously there's
stretch.
something to it with karma, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But I don't think karma comes like before like God, you know. God is
right,
like
right.
karma's real God's control on that, you know what I mean?
That's
And
right.
it's probably on his terms depending on, you know, who gets the karma, I guess. You know, he chooses who deserves what and who doesn't deserve what, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's not always okay. So I get it. It's
I don't
not
think
always
karma is like always a universal thing for everybody. Everybody faces that same karma. You do something bad 50
yeah,
times, 50 times it's going to be bad to you. You know, I don't think it's always like exactly like that, you know. And I think a lot of
yeah,
people do
because
try to pinpoint it like that's how the universe is.
a lot of times, right? It's like I guess I did have like a naive way of thinking about it. I guess when I was younger, like if you do good, you get good. If you do bad, you get bad. Like those are like some kind of expectations, but it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you do the right
And the problem
thing.
is
Yeah.
if it did work like that, what's your definition of good and bad? You know what I mean?
Right. That's a great point because God defines that for us.
And yeah, I think that's kind of why too. You know, people kind of get turned away to God because they have a wrong like idea of what Christianity is, just because it's so divided, and you know, there's all these mega churches that they think that God's really strict, and they're thinking in their mind, I'm good, I pay my taxes, I go to work, I don't cheat anybody, whatever, and then they almost think that like God's unfair, you know, but they have like the whole wrong idea of it, you know. It's the fact that, you know, we all sin.
Yeah. And then I also look at it like this, right? Sometimes even um like if say I everything I've done today was the right thing and then I got the wrong reaction out of it. Sometimes even though that might feel bad, that interaction maybe opened up a door for something else to happen that wouldn't have happened normally. And it could be some life-changing friendship that you make after that, or I mean, there's so many variables in God's world, right? And he uses it, everything for his good, right? So um not everything is what it seems, right? And God always knows best, right? And it's our own expectations, right, that don't get met, right? And that's what makes us feel upset. We expect something different than what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very true.
Man, that's such a good point that you made, man, about reap what you sow. Man, it's good to have you on, man. So good, man.
Yeah, I appreciate being on, and I always appreciate you doing these shows, man. I think you're helping a lot of people, and it just brings in a lot of perspectives. If someone comes on the show and they do say some crazy stuff, or you know that you think they're lost or down the wrong rabbit hole, I still think it serves a purpose, you know, because you
Well,
can
I'd
kind of
like
see where
to.
they're coming from, and you'd be like, all right, you know, I don't really agree with this anymore based on the way they put it. and it can actually change your perspective for the better hearing somebody that's wrong sometimes.
Well, and a lot of times, right? And I sometimes I'll get like some blame is like you know, it kind of gets put on me like, okay, well they said this, but and they're on your panel, so you must agree with that, you know. But the reality is like if someone new comes and you just let them kind of like tell their story and say what they know, right? Even if they're just saying it in a helpful way, right? You can get more of like, okay, well, what do you believe, right? Like, how did you get to where you are? If it is something that's wrong or different, you know, and so it gives you a better idea of how to unravel it. But if you like stop someone every time you don't agree with what they're saying, you gotta kind of have to let people be wrong sometimes, you know. And it's small seeds that kind of bring them back into the fold. You know what I mean? That's the tough part.
Yeah, yeah, very true. And it's the fact that we all are different, have different understandings, and at a different spot in our faith. So, someone who's new to the faith, there's probably different ways to approach it. Trying to correct them on every little thing's not going to help their spirit grow. Maybe there's a time and a place for certain things.
Yeah. Man, I'm just like here's the thing, right? Like I would like normally it's like, okay, well, like what's the exciting thing to talk about? Like what's the thing that is easiest to talk about is like these, rabbit holes and these things in the world that are going wrong, or the lies, or that always for some reason brings the crowd, right? But then when you like, it's like, man, we want to talk about like God and how our behavior dictates how our life goes, or how our spiritual life can make us feel better or different, or it's like, man, we lose people. It's like boom, 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 and I would love to come on and not say, oh, the world is horrible. Oh, the world is like in shambles. So what's going on, guys? But I don't know, for some reason, right? That's I don't know. You never run out of things to say, right? When you're talking about this world falling apart, because it's just everywhere, right?
Yeah, very true. And that, I think too, it does help in a way. I think there are people who like stop at that, Alex Jones level or Fox News level or Max Egan level or whatever. But I also think that knowing the stuff that goes on in this world, where people, if they know that events are staged and, actors are always playing a part, even in their real life and things like that, then it could turn them to God. Like you were saying, even with Flat Earth, I'm sure that's turned a lot of people to God. And I've gotten people to read the Bible. So sometimes knowing the corruptions in this world can kind of help you get closer to God in a way. But I do like also see the other point where it's like, when people feel like they're at that point where they have no control or can't handle the lie, they stop. That's why I do think, like I said, people stop at that Alex Jones level, because it's like, if all you gotta do is like, be a prepper and know how to survive and things like that, you don't have to like take in anything of the spiritual. You can handle like what the world's given you. But when the world gets to a point where there's so much lies and you can't handle it, I almost think they just stop and settle to whatever they know, and they just don't grow from there, unless they have that spirit.
Almost like it has to look it has to look unsavable, right? The world, right? In order for some people to give up, right? For some people just to submit and say, okay, yeah, we're not going to win this back. Like it's time to accept what God was telling us in the Bible, right? It's all happening. This is real, right? And so I think it could be a good turning point, right? To be like, okay, I'm at the point now where I could submit finally to God.
And I think that's gonna happen more and more, especially as the end times keep getting more near. Is the fact that I think there will be people that are going to wake up a lot at once. And I think that's sort of the purpose it serves. I think God's patient with us, and he's willing to wait until, like, people just had enough. It's like, all right, I'm ready to turn away from the world and start turning to God. Like, this is a mess. This is nonsense. Like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, I think, I think it's going to be soon, man. I see it happening, man. Like, I know I say that all the time, right? Oh, I think it's going to be soon. And it seems like all these channels that talk about end times, sounds like they're all lining up. Like, I don't remember this many, like, end times, people always talk about the end times, but like, you're seeing like normal kind of mainstream-ish type pastors talking about the end times. And it really is like, if you look at the fig tree generation, right, and you look at the the Revelation 12 sign in 2017, which would have been the 70th anniversary of Israel, right? Like 10 more years is 80 years to a generation by strength, right? And so, man, God is good at like coming through, right? At the last possible, he puts himself on a ledge, right, to where that he did it, and I think it's working out like so closely that I think I'm not even in denial about it. Like, this is gonna happen. There's gonna be some kind of crazy thing that we're gonna see. And this is all going to happen soon, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's some wild stuff. And I think all these past things that people like used to bring that conclusion where it's the mark of the beast, like people used to think, the internet was the mark or credit cards were the mark and things like that. But I think that all plays a part of it. You know what I mean? So I don't think they were completely wrong when they predicted that. I think it all leads up to it.
Well, what's crazy is, Luke, is so Michael sent me a headline that said mark of the beast technology is here, and they don't even hide it. I didn't think that they would just outright say it. Like, mark of the beast is here, come get it, and I'm like, man, I wish I had that link so I could share that link with people. That, it just says what it is, right? I'm like, well, is this really how the world is? Because people are using the Bible as a playbook, or is it just because it's written, so it has to happen whether people are in on it or not? Or how does that work at the reality level, right? Why are all these things happening exactly the way God said, but like without it being sneaky at all,
Yeah, it's interesting. You would think on both sides, people who are asleep and the people who are running everything. You would think on both sides people will be seeing it and making that choice, And I think we're almost kind of at that point, but I do agree that it's just written, and whatever plays out is going to play out, whether you know what's going on or not.
Hannah says, praise God for his genius plan of salvation and redemption. It's amazing, man. It is a genius plan. It involves considering so many different things and bringing them all together that it's incredibly complicated, right? But it's also happening in such a simple and straightforward way where if you read the Bible, you're gonna see it. It's like you can't. I don't see how a person could be deceived if things are gonna be the way they are. The wars happen at the right time. The mark of the beast technology comes out at the right time. Like the man of sin is gonna come out at the right time. It's like already like starting to get to a point where that could be accepted soon. And it's like, wow, like it's just so perfect, so perfect, so perfect.
Yeah,
Hard
yeah,
to believe,
that's
right?
why it's hard to say that the Bible isn't 100% accurate. just because everything lines up. And then you can go to the point where, you know, all these events that happen in the Old Testament foreshadow the New Testament. And then I don't know too much about like the codes and numbers. You'd have to like
Yeah.
over that or get somebody on that part of it. But a lot of that's pattern too that lines up with each other. I'd like to think of some examples, but I'm not too good with that part.
Yeah, I know that Jake's a numbers guy, and I don't know a couple other people. I mean, I go into that because it's interesting, right? Like I'll say, oh, someone will show me like the little pattern of like, oh, it even works out that way too, you know. But I don't know how to do any of that stuff, you know. Like I I know how to check people's like names in in the gematria calculator to see if it adds up to that number, you know. But other than that, I don't know how to do it. I'm very naive as to how to do that stuff. I don't know how they decode stuff and say this number means you know, these phrases or whatever. I'm like, where do they come up with all this stuff, man?
Yeah, but I think it is good not to get too caught up either. That's for sure. But I think it is good stuff to know. Just like knowing, like I think we were talking about before too, knowing like the origin and the original definition of that particular Hebrew word. And like you'll go over a verse and they'll talk about how this word means that in Hebrew, and then it changes up the whole verse. And I'm thinking, well, you know, in this time, 2022 or whatever, you know, what, I don't know how accurate their timelines are. That's a whole nother thing. But here right now, you know, the language I know is English, and the book that's provided is you know, the Bible. So I'm going to go off of that. I'm not saying it isn't good to know these like Hebrew original definitions, but then, you know, I do see people kind of taking it too far. I don't think the Bible's supposed to be super complicated where you're confused and, you know, there's a 10 letters or 10 word sentence and you have to look up the Hebrew definition of each word just to get that sentence. I don't think
I
it's that
see.
complicated.
I do see that happening where people will use like now that you mention it, right? That people will use like a definition from another language to change what the verse actually says. You know, to where nobody else would understand it except if you had that definition. And so I know that that's not the way that the Bible is written. I know that it means what it says, you know. And so I do get that. I think there is some benefit to that, like you're saying, right? Like to know what each of these words means, and because sometimes you get more feeling and more of the meaning, right? But when it changes everything, that bothers me because I think people take advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah, it just seems like it complicates things, you know, and I don't think God's gonna make it super complicated for us, you know. That's why the Bible is everywhere, and we have that opportunity. And you could even go in the worldly aspect where, you know, the elites, they mock us, so they'll do like a sign showing what they mean, or they'll say something acting like they're joking about it, and they bring you the truth kind of hidden in plain sight. I think, you know, that's a universal law just because like God doesn't want us like confused and all that, you know what I mean? Now I do think it's just a way for elite to also justify everything that they're doing wrong, you know. It's like, oh, we told you and all that.
Yeah,
But
man, it's funny how sneaky they are, right?
yeah. But yeah, I do think God tries to set it up to where, you know, he I guess would figure it out for us to where, you know, we can find him. And honestly, I'd say he finds us, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think he makes it too complicated to be connected to God. You know, I think the devil makes it complicated because, you know, he doesn't care if you're atheist, he doesn't care if you're Hindu, Buddhist, even like if you're a Christian who's Catholic, or, you know, all these different types of Christianities. As long as like you're not connected to Jesus, that's all the devil cares about.
yeah. And I mean, it's insane, right? And it's there's so many people that you know, a lot, especially at these like Bible debate type channels, right? Where I mean, they're so smart, man. They know so much about the Bible, but I mean, it's at the point now where I could see the intention like they're intentionally trying to move you off the mark. You know, that's seems to be the because it's weird how they all have different beliefs, but they all get along with each other, but they hate Christians, you know,
Yeah,
equally.
some of these channels too, they're like literally screaming at each other and getting really heated, but then they go back on each other's streams like as if nothing happened, which is kind of
Right,
like a
right.
weird sign. And it's almost no different than the churches bringing that like boring, complicated approach with God and kind of turning people away. It's like they're almost kind of doing the same thing. They're trying to make
Yep.
it all complicated and go over all these subtopics, and it's almost like an ego battle, you know, and then it doesn't actually like help anybody's spirit.
I agree with you on that. Man, we got to do a whole show just on this stuff right here, man. That would be cool. Alrighty, Luke. Well, it's time to hit that old dusty trail, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. This was a fun show for me. I had some joy today inside, so that feels good, man. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, always a pleasure, my friend, and maybe I'll try
Yeah.
to get this weekend or something.
Cool, cool. Absolutely, man. Alrighty, guys. Well, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God because he deserves it. And please pray for the children. Pray for anyone being victimized. And please pray for each other. It's important. And I will see you guys tonight, Lord willing, at 5 p.m. California time. Oh, what's up, Michael? It says come on the show and help people speak. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's good to have people join. You know, and kind of you know, it's good for everyone to hear how everyone talks. You know, so that way when you're reading like something in the chat, you know how that person sounds. I think it's good. It's good for that. To prevent like miscommunication, especially when like it's so good right now. Everyone's starting to come together. Like it goes in streaks, obviously. People will come together and then kind of drift apart, and you know, one person could change the chemistry of the whole thing. But as long as we're focused on God, right, and we are involved with each other, it's going to be good. I know it. So I will see you guys, Lord willing, tonight at 5 p.m. California time.